So the tiny house idea was born for us at Häuslein after Scott and I lived in a shipping container conversion cabin on my parents' farm in Alpine, Victoria for 2 years. We just really loved the simplicity of life. We built it as a temporary place, but our eldest boy was actually born there, and yeah, we just saw how doable it was and how affordable it was. And my husband was building timber stairs when we moved back to Port Macquarie, but his back was struggling with that. And the tiny house movement was really taking off in America and just starting in Australia. And it's something we thought that we could maybe contribute to. So having sort of lived it, we felt that we would give it a go. And we built our first tiny house together with our two business partners, and had a big launch weekend at a local winery, and it was really well received, and we sold it. And so yeah, Häuslein was born as a result. Yeah, I think since COVID, definitely people have, yeah, just sought to do work differently and manage their work life balance differently. And definitely there's been an increase in working from home. And yeah, a lot of people do use their tiny houses also as a workspace. And that being able to relocate them quite easily is a big draw card. So if you need to move interstate or to another town for work, you can just take your home and your office with you. So I think tiny houses do a great job of, yeah, catering for that need. So our tiny houses can be set up fully off grid. They come like a caravan with a hose connection and a power connection outside, so you can basically plug and play no matter what your source of power or water is. So it's great. It offers people who have that passion for sustainability the option to do it really easily with a tiny house. You can also have a composting toilet, just a grey water system that's really eco-friendly and sustainable, not using any nasty chemicals and things, of course. And so yeah, tiny houses have amazing scope to be, yeah, we live in a tiny house, and we live fully off grid. We just have tank water, a compost toilet, solar power, panels and batteries, and it keeps us going beautifully. So we don't offer like complete kits to do all of that. Most of that needs to be set up once you're on site. We have in the past offered solar trailers, but we've found that it can be a lot better to source that locally if you ever have any problems and your tiny house is being delivered in another state. It's hard if you have any issues with your solar just to get that seen to properly. So yeah, we just give people information about what they're looking for, what would work well with a tiny house and things like that. And then based on their needs, they can come to decisions on, yeah, how to set their tiny house up in a sustainable way. So some people aren't sure if tiny houses are for the retired age demographic, but they definitely can be. My mum lives in a tiny house out the back of my sister's place, and she's got a model that has stairs. Her knees are still able to cope with that. There may come a time when they can't, and she might move her bed downstairs, but that's also possible. We've recently come out with two single level designs though. So for people who aren't wanting to and never will want to or aren't able to climb any ladders or stairs, tiny houses can cater for the older age demographic really well by just creating a space that's all ground level, all on the ground floor, but still really usable and well designed to be able to use that. So yeah, check out our Lunar model and stay tuned for another one that we're bringing out very soon. It's starting to be built, I think, in a couple of weeks. So yeah, we're excited about that, and really glad to be able to cater to those who are retired and not as mobile. So is sustainability or affordability the bigger draw for tiny houses? I honestly think both. I think they cater for both really well. A lot of our building materials are sustainably produced in Australia, such as our cypress feature timber here, which is grown in southern New South Wales in a sustainable way, termite resistant, Australian, and a lot of our other products are as well. Plus, obviously, the houses can be set up to be fully off grid and really reduce our footprint in that regard. but they are so affordable. One thing we focus on in our tiny houses is just really high quality. So we only use solid timbers and plies. We don't use any vinyl or MDF or chipboard or anything like that anywhere in our builds. So we really build them to last so that they'll be worth refurbishing in a few generations' time. Hopefully there'll be a fixer-upper show for tiny houses and our houses will be in it, and worth refreshing. We've had a tiny house survive the Port Macquarie floods as well, and it fared really well. Just needed a good clean and sand and a fresh coat of oil on the floor and a few minor electrical things underneath resolved, but it did really well. So for us, our tiny houses are sustainable in that they're going to last. They're going to be worth keeping fresh, looking after, and they will look after you because they're made from materials that are durable and natural. So yeah, we're really proud of that. And at the same time, for us, we seek to be very competitive with our pricing, and what you're getting for that money is really high value. So I think tiny houses definitely do both. So yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, so we currently ship Australia-wide. We can deliver anywhere in Australia. We haven't broached the international market as yet. It's probably a lot less viable because you can produce them in other places quite easily. But yeah, we're really keen to service the Australian market and can deliver anywhere in Australia. We've delivered to Tassie, South Australia, Queensland, Victoria. We haven't yet gone to Western Australia, but again, the transport costs get quite big in a big country. But yeah, anything is possible. So if you're really passionate about it and you want it there, we can get it there. So we've been so blessed with a wonderful client base over the 5.5 years that we've been functioning. And it's hard to pick one that really stands out. A recent one up in Queensland, we just have an excellent relationship with them, and they're promoting our tiny houses everywhere they possibly can, and want us to put a billboard up on their land that's beside a highway, and she's supplied us with a whole bunch of her organic food products that she makes, and so we've built a beautiful partnership. So that's been really lovely. We have supplied tiny houses to a few famous people. I won't be able to disclose their names, but a very famous Australian actress and a very well-known Australian wealthy entrepreneur as well. So we're honoured that they chose Häuslein to build their tiny houses for them. In terms of customization, we don't chase customization. We've thought really long and hard about our designs and created variations of each model to hopefully cater for people. One of the difficult things in a tiny house is that every time you change one thing, it sort of has 1,000 implications. So we've actually found that our happiest customers are the ones that don't customize, because there's no sort of hidden surprises. They know what they're getting, they know it's been well thought through, and it works. We have done a number of customizations. We built a double tiny house at one stage. We've had color alternatives, a few material changes, things like that, a couple of different design layouts here and there. And they've been fun to do, and just to personalize those a bit. And they've worked well. We point people to the ones that are tried and tested. So the general feedback that we receive from customers is that they're really happy, particularly with the solid timbers and the quality of the build. We also strive to give excellent customer care service afterwards. So if there are any issues, we're quick to respond and resolve anything. It's been really encouraging to receive lots of happy feedback from customers over the years.